Hi, I'm Topaz Conway. I'm here to tell you how to protect your IP with Commercialisation Australia. I consider myself a deal maker, and I started that trend when I was about 8 years old. I have 3 brothers, and my protection as the only girl in the family was to do deals to protect myself against their antics. So I started young. Since then, I've owned 3 companies. I've started 3 companies myself. I've had 2 of those sold, and that was quite the experience. There's a huge spectrum of innovation going on in this country, which nobody ever hears about, but we get to see because the applications come across our desk. And the passion and the belief that what they have is going to save the world is what gets me up in the morning. They're just amazing people and amazing ideas. So when you have a company, it's your intellectual property that matters at the end of the day when you want to commercialize. And some of the mistakes that people make in protecting their IP is really just not understanding what is required in order to provide that protection. There's a fine line between being careful and protective about your idea and sharing it with enough people so that your idea gets out there and is looked at and recognized and fed by the right partnerships. The key challenges for IP protection, both nationally and internationally, is really the cost, more than anything. Because yes, the laws in each of the jurisdictions are different, and you really have to know what those are. The disclosure laws as well as the protection laws. And getting the right advice as to which countries and which jurisdictions you should protect yourself in is a tricky one, because the cost prohibitiveness of having worldwide patents everywhere is such that most entrepreneurs can't afford that. But again, within CA, there's an allowance for taking the PCT, which is your worldwide patent, to jurisdictions where you know your market will be. Partnerships are key to the success of any company. Partnerships will either equate to people that you want to work with, or potentially they will be your exit strategy. So it's really important to establish partnerships very early, and that requires developing relationships very early. Sometimes an entrepreneur will feel like, well, I don't want to disclose my secrets to anybody else, especially somebody who might be a competitor. But it is really important to not lose sight of the fact that you bring your partners close to you. And one of the reasons is not just because it's an exit strategy, but because you have to learn what the competition is doing. You have to be very aware of what they're doing. And really, a good potential partner will be a partner. You will work together, you'll share ideas. The confidentiality issues can all be covered with confidentiality agreements. And if your IP is secure and you have those in place, talking to a partner, a potential partner, is not going to hurt you from a protection point of view, but it could be critical to the success of your company. One of the things that the case managers do bring to the Commercialisation Australia program, and I have had the experience myself, and that is helping to introduce some of our participants to networks over in the US or in Europe, including patent attorneys and people who can really help with the IP. Australian innovators are like innovators anywhere. They're passionate people who believe they will change the world. I love entrepreneurs, I love innovation, I love the spirit that these innovators bring, and Australia is top, as far as I'm concerned, in the innovations that we bring to the table. And our biggest challenge really is getting them to market, and getting them to market with Australian support. And I do believe that we, as a nation, are finally getting there.